Back in the late 90s and early 2000s, the most stolen vehicle was a Honda Accord. And that was probably one of the more vehicles to insure for those several years. Now, fast forward to 2021, 2022, and 2023 and ongoing, the newest most stolen vehicle is Kia, where the Institute of Highway Security has stated almost over 60% of all the stolen vehicles are Hyundai and Kia. So what's happening? What essentially is causing this? And what are the next steps? Which models are being affected? And what can you do with your insurance to get that fixed? What companies are accepting those types of vehicles? Hey everybody, I'm Mark with Think Insurance, and let's dive in and explain this. So social media is the trend behind this. Essentially, this started from a TikTok. There's a group called the Kia Boys. After this video, feel free to Google them, all of that. Essentially, long story short, there's a group of younger 13 to 18 to even 30-year-olds now, but it started as a young group. They found that these Kias were able to be hacked with just a little USB. So I could take my USB, plug it in the car, it'll let me just push the button, start it, and go. So what did they do? They essentially stole all of these Kias, but they didn't keep them. They weren't trying to salvage them and sell them or rip the VIN numbers off like you see in all of these Miami movies, right? It's not Bad Boys number 3. It's essentially something that they're doing for fun, and they're purposely wrecking the vehicles in joyrides. People are losing their lives because they're just having fun with them. They're essentially treating them as if they're an off-road motorcycle. They're trying to go as fast as they can, hit mailboxes, hit other cars, and then they go. They're gone, and that's it. They just leave the car there, or they go and burn it, or whatever the case is, get their prints off, and that's the end of the story. That's essentially the TikTok trend for the Kia Boys. Over 966 cars of the Kias were reported in this year alone, just for the first up to March. So for the first 3 months, there's almost 1,000 of those cars that were reported stolen. That's 7 times the average that they had the year before in 2022. So which models were affected? And I'll explain why this doesn't totally matter here in just a moment. But I've got my screen up. The 2015 to 2021 Hyundai Accent. The 2015 to 2021, actually all the way down the line, is the Elantra, the Kona, the Santa Fe, and the Tucson. 2015 to 2018, the Veloster, whatever you want to call that, is also one. 2015 to 21, the Kia Forte, the Kia Optima, the 2015 and 2016 Kia Mo Hybrid. We also have the 2015 to 2021 Kia Rio, all body styles. The same years, 2015 to 2021 Kia Sedona, the 2015-2016 Kia Sorento, 2015-2021 Kia Soul, and the Sportage. Those are essentially the reported vehicles that are talking about. And it's not just to the point where it's a nuisance. It's to the point where State Farm in some states and Progressive in some states and other companies are following suit have outlawed them being insured, period. This is their right. They've actually done this with several cars. I remember when I was trying to write the Crown Victoria, but they were the police edition, where they were actually used as police cars and they have this Corvette engine in them. And you can't touch those with most companies, right? Same thing here. Why insure something that you know has a high rate of being stolen? Now, don't get me wrong, there are other options and other ways to get around this, but you're noticing that it's not just these models that are initially affected, because Kia did fix the issue. So they did recall and start fixing the security systems in these cars. They've even gotten stickers, as you'll notice, that go on the cars that say this has been updated by Kia and is no longer a theft model that you can steal. Now, these people are trying to break in, they can't take them, and now they're just stuck. So they just broken window, a little bit of damage, and then it's fixed on someone's insurance. But think of it this way, because I had a customer that got fairly upset. Had him with Progressive. It was in our main state of Michigan, one of the multiple states that we insure, and they had the price go up. Now, yes, Progressive has had a rate increase, so that was part of it, so they're seeing that with it, but they weren't noticing that Progressive hadn't removed Kias from our state, which was a good thing. But the risk because of that, and our state has had those, I've actually claimed a few, has had that happen in our state, those prices of the cars went up. His was not one of these models. His was a 2022 or 2023, I believe, and that wasn't the issue. Think of it this way. If the Kias are known for being the most stolen car, the thing, if you're going to steal one, you're going to go after that. Just being the fact that it's a Kia or a Hyundai or the model that is there, the Sedona, the Tucson, if you know that those are simple, you're going to try to steal it. Whether it has security or not, you're going to follow the path and learn about how to steal it. For those that want to learn it, it's almost free knowledge. And just because there's the security device, it doesn't mean it can't be bypassed. So they still can steal the vehicles. It's just very difficult and it's easier to get caught. So why bother? In this case, this is the known car to steal, the known model, the known industry. So let's go after the newer models and maybe they'll be just as easy. That's why you're still seeing those prices high or just not available at all for Kias. They're just outlawed altogether in some states just because of those reasons. It might be the most secure Kia they've ever given, but because of the state that you're in or because of the background or the history of that Kia, you're not likely going to have a good price on those. Now, I actually have the answer for what you should do next. Most likely, if you're dealing with this problem and you're getting canceled, you're with a State Farm or you're direct with Farmers or Progressive where you did it online. If your policy says direct at the top right. Your best bet is to talk to an independent agent. Most of your independent agents still have 5, 6, 8, even 12 different plus companies that they work with. So even though one company might be saying no longer Kia, they'll probably have 5 or 6 other companies that will say, sure, no problem. We haven't had that many thefts of them. Let's try it out. And you'll likely get the better deal if you have the right person that can shop for you. By the way, I actually work with a lot of independent agents. I'll put a link in the description below. If you're in one of the states that we work in, we'd be happy to give it a shot. Otherwise, I'll link you to an agent that we can connect you with if possible. If you do have a Kia that is one of those models that we mentioned, you may want to call the dealership and see if there's a recall that you can get that fixed. Now, I'll be honest with you, fixed or not, I don't think it's going to necessarily change the insurance yet. It's still fairly new, even though Kia has created a fix for this. It's probably not going to be a fix for at least another year to 2 years, and those models are probably just blacklisted everywhere. You're likely going to have either a little bit higher of a cost for that type of car, or there's going to be some other issue. If you're shopping around and you're coming across one of these vehicles or coming across a new Kia, that might be your bargaining chip if you want to get a little bit less expensive, because you probably will pay a little bit more in your insurance for that model or that type of vehicle. Hopefully this was helpful. If you guys are trying to figure out a little bit more of those discounts beyond the Kia issue, I'll put a link in the description here below that will go over that. If you're trying to figure out what coverages you should carry, I'll put my Car Insurance 101, probably the most popular video on this channel. That'll go over the liability and all the types of coverages that you should carry. I'm Mark with Think Insurance. I'll see you soon.